All right, everybody. We're gonna get started. I'm sure more people will join as we're going along, but welcome to our very first community town hall. This is where we can really get some feedback from you guys on our website and maybe some pain points that you might be having, things we might be able to fix, but we're going to go ahead and get into it. My name is Matthew Stanton. I'm the operations manager for Veterans Alliance, and I'm a 10-year veteran, and I am also 100% parental disabled vet. My passion is really helping veterans, get them in touch with resources, helping them navigate the systems that aren't so easy for them to navigate. As I so found out throughout my service and when I did get out of the service. So I want to introduce you guys to Paul. He is the founder of Alliance. So I'm going to turn it over him to speak.
Hey everyone. Um, thanks for thanks for joining the community meeting today. I'll give you a little background with VA. So I actually have owned this domain or website since 2012, and the problem that I saw that veterans are facing was basically navigating the VA.gov system, which is very frustrating for them. They struggle with access. You guys struggle with accessing your benefits that you've earned, and knowing what resources exist. And while at the same time, there's many organizations out there trying to help veterans, and they're having trouble connecting with the veterans. So it's kind of the issue isn't lack of support. It's really the issue is connectivity. Um, for me, the best example of this is like shortly after kind of acquiring this website, I wanted to go talk to a veterans nonprofit. So I just randomly picked a nonprofit out of the yellow pages in Minneapolis and, went down to speak to the founder. And it was an investment firm that had a nonprofit associated with it. It was basically operating out of a closet in this company. And what they were doing is they had like a one-time opportunity to give money to a veteran that, had run into problems, or issues, just a one-time gift. I don't know, it's like maybe $500 or something. And they were having trouble finding veterans to give money to. They were just literally handing out money to any veteran that, had a worthy reason why. And I'm like, Jesus, if I just randomly run across this one nonprofit, um, how many other resources are out there that veterans don't know about? And so, what I could see is it really wasn't, a lack of um, resources. It was really just a lack of coordination and connectivity. Um, so, what VA.org is, it's not a website. It's not just another nonprofit. It's really infrastructure. And VA.org is meant to be the connective tissue between veterans and their benefits, nonprofits, transition programs, economic opportunity, and other veterans. So we're building the coordination layer that really doesn't currently exist in the market. And our short-term focus right now is setting up the connectivity between VA.org and VA.gov. VA.gov has what they call APIs, or the technology that basically we can set up and consolidate these APIs to connect with VA.gov. And by consolidating that and using AI, the goal is to have a centralized access point that makes it much simpler for veterans to manage their benefits with VA.gov, and supporting and also really focusing on veterans who are transitioning out of the military, because that's a difficult time to navigate back into civilian life. So we're going to be set up through the Skill Bridge program and supporting the transition and creating career pathways and reducing the friction. Um, the longer term vision for VA uh, is creating one of the most trusted communities, for veterans in America. Um, and over time, I think that one of my missions is to get veterans more involved. Create a 501(c)(4), which is a lobbying organization for veterans. So I have a strong belief that veterans, really have the most. I have a strong belief that both our democracies in trouble today, and I think that um, a big part of the solution to fixing our democracy is getting veterans more actively involved in it. And first by organizing them as their own political group to advocate for their own, um, uh, rights in Washington, but also, uh, looking after basically what's in the best interest of our democracy as a whole. So really the first step is service, infrastructure, and then activation. So, I would really call upon our community. It's really a ground floor opportunity. We're building tools and the technology to help service veterans, and we really want people to get involved um, in helping us guide what we build. Um, and ultimately, my longer term motivation is I think that this should be a veterans run, decentralized, veterans led, and ideally veterans owned organization. Um, in the long term, but for now, we're just getting things launched and would really invite um, everybody's participation in terms of prioritizing, what we're building for veterans. So that's
Well, thank you, Paul. We're gonna move into this is our founder, and he has a lot of vision and stuff for us to move forward. And I think it's really great to have somebody advocate for veterans and really want to help the community of veterans. So we're gonna move into the next portion. And I ask that you guys use the raised hand emoji when you want to speak in this next area. And we're gonna try to as best as possible to stay on topic because this Zoom time frame can go by pretty quickly. And then all questions are also welcome, and there's no wrong answers. This is a safe forum, a moderated space, and your feedback really drives real decisions and change in how veterans are getting served and may need help. Um, so I'm gonna, before we get into the community forum aspect for you guys to speak, just a quick little overview of some of the things that we do offer right now. The disability ratings estimator, to instantly estimate your general VA disability percentage based on conditions that you currently have. Our AI benefits review, which could it reviews when you do get your disability rating, and it might be able to help you find any missing evidence or things that you may have missed or the VA may have missed, which is what happens most of the time when we're going through the VA disability process. VA home loan assistance, AI Joe benefits expert, really great tool. You can call or message in the website, benefits checklist tool, and then my probably one of my favorite, and I want to get a little bit more involved, is the forum that we have available on the website for you guys to be able to ask questions and kind of communicate and talk to each other, as well as being able to message other veterans that are on the website. Like maybe you see that they're at 100% and you aren't at 100% yet. So maybe you're messaging them, ask for advice, or what did they do to get to 100%. So those are just a few little things that we have on our um, website that really help, and we have a lot more in development, which I'll kind of talk about at the end of this once we get done with the community forum. So now I want to open it up to the veterans that are attending to kind of share your wins that you've had with using VA.org, and how has it made a difference for you, and what should we make sure that we never lose that you guys like, and want to continue seeing grow. So I'm going to open it up to the veterans. Raise your hands, and we'll get to you uh, in order. Okay, Ann, I see that your hand is raised. Go ahead and talk. You're still muted, Ann. If oh, there
Is
you
that
go.
better?
Yes.
I really appreciate the ability to communicate with my provider through VA.org.
Okay, that's really good. What is some a few other things that you like about VA.org, if you have any that have really helped alleviate maybe some of the stress of dealing with, VA.gov and the Veterans Affairs.
I guess at this point, there really hasn't been anything else.
Okay. Thank you, Ann. Let's see. Does anybody else have their want to speak their piece or have anything to say about their experience? I see Herman Spencer has his hand raised. Go ahead, Herman.
Um, I have a question for you. But the .org that we get provided with is a good system. I like it, but I don't hardly use it. You
Okay.
know, but still in all, it's a good program. But I got a question about insurance as far as uh, like a $10,000 insurance policy. How do I obtain that?
You're talking about the life insurance policy that you can obtain through the VA.
Yes.
Okay, that would be you'd have to go onto the website VA.gov, and there is a specific it's a benefits tab, medical and benefits tab. You click on it, and kind of on the side, you know how when you click into the tabs on your desktop, that on the left-hand side, there's like a bunch of different other options that you can click on as well. There should be, and usually last time I checked was a life insurance box that you can click in that will give you information on how to enroll into the life insurance policy. And I I believe that there are policies that are also bigger than 10,000 if you were interested in that. But if you want, um, have you been receiving emails from me, Herman?
From you?
Yeah.
Um, Basically, if I did get emails from you, I probably just erased them because I didn't really know who you were.
Okay.
Okay, so
Um,
I'm sorry about that, but I
oh
didn't
no.
know, you know, who you were and what program you was involved in.
Okay. And that's why it's perfect that we're doing these community forums. So if you want, I will put in the chat my email right now. And then if you email me, I can actually give you step-by-step instructions on how to get that life insurance policy enrolled into it. That is.
Okay.
Would that help? And
Yeah.
I just Sorry,
Yeah,
I
that
could.
would help. Yeah, that would help.
Okay, awesome. I just put my email address into the chat, and this is for everybody that's joined. If you have questions, please reach out. And if you do want to speak on the phone or on a FaceTime, that is something we can coordinate through my email as well. So please feel free to reach out. Um, and then I will help you the best I can with navigating the system and getting to where you need to go. So, do you have any more questions, Herman, or anything else to say?
No, that's the that's the only thing I was interested in, you know.
Okay, great. I see that Cheryl in the chat asked if, well, oh, I see that Rashad answered it. Um, but just to answer it now. Uh, oh, they don't see my email in the chat. Okay. Let me see here.
You,
Um, but okay, I will. Let me see. It says the host and panelists. Ah, to everyone. Here we go. I'm re-putting that email in the chat since it wasn't showing up. I had it on the wrong setting. That's my bad. Um, But Cheryl, to answer your question, the life insurance policy that you're referring to on VA.gov is Veterans Group Life Insurance VGLI, but it's administered by the Office of Service Members Group Life Insurance, which is a division of Prudential Insurance Company of America. Um, I hope that answers your question. And then do we have anybody else that wants to speak on some wins that of VA.org or things that they may have noticed while they were on VA.org that they really like? Um, Herman, I see that you raised your hand again.
yes, you said that you send me your email. Is it um VA.org?
Yes,
So so I could uh get the application or you chat or we chat or what however
yeah, yeah.
how that go.
Yeah, you just shoot me an email. Just let me know who you are. I'll remember you from this this webinar, and we can continue to have conversation from there. And I'll help you navigate on how to get enrolled into the life insurance policy with the Veterans Affairs.
Okay, I got you.
All right. Do we have anybody else? If not, we're gonna move on to the next part. Um, is there anybody else that wants to speak? Um, okay. Well, before we move on, I was going to share a little something. Um, as a 100% permanent total disabled vet, uh, navigating VA.org and seeing what's being built and seeing what is being put in front of us to really help us navigate VA.gov and the veterans system and being able to figure out what benefits we qualify for. I think what it's building is actually really great, and um, I have veterans reaching out to me every day. I help them, navigate whether they're not even a service member themselves, but maybe it's a family member that's helping a service member, or the service member interested in benefits for their family or themselves. And I've seen that VA.org has really helped veterans be able to navigate and get answers to questions that otherwise might take them a long time to get answers to because the VA system is so overwhelmed with veterans that they don't always have the time to perfectly answer back in a timely manner. And a lot of times veterans might get lost in the crowd, so to speak. So with me saying that, I'm gonna move on to the next part of if any of you guys want to share maybe some pain points that you're having on VA.org or maybe even just pain points that you're having in general with the veteran affairs system itself and VA.gov. Um, so we can also use that feedback as well to better help you guys. So I'm going to open it up now to people that might want to speak on some pain points they might be having or things that they're confused about. I know I answered a couple questions in the last part, but if there's anything else that you guys might think of that you might want to speak about. Okay. So I'll kind of speak on some pain points. For me, going through the VA system. Oh, Herman, you got your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. I got a pain that you talking about. Um, I wonder why VA system doesn't give you certain benefits or help you with things that you need. You know, it should be automatic. That's what I'm. That's what I look at it. You know, and um, that's the thing that I'm concerned about. You know, we serve the country, and the VA should just automatically give you your benefits or whatever. You know, and why is it not like that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Herman, as a vet myself. Serving this country is in itself a selfless act. And what we don't realize when we sign up a lot of times of what we actually signed ourselves up for. And then, we're getting out, we're transitioning out, or maybe we serve, 5, 10, 15, 20, or 20 plus years. And then we go into a VA system that makes us fight for benefits that we shouldn't
Yes,
have to fight for.
yes,
Um, and that is something that we're here at Veterans Alliance is trying to help alleviate, to help you guys fight the system that is having you fight against them because they don't want to pay you what you deserve, or they don't want to
yes,
give you this insurance that you deserve, or they don't want to cover this thing
yes,
that you deserve,
yes, yes,
or they don't even service connect the issues that you had. And I had issues like that before I got 100% of
yes.
they
Me
were
too.
yeah, they were trying not to give me my service connection for some things. And I was like, I joined when I was 18 years old. You're telling me that these were pre-existing conditions before I got into the military? That's highly unlikely. So that's something that we're really here and passionate about here at Veterans Alliance to help veterans like yourself really fight against that. Because at the end of the day, I was told by somebody that works at the VA that they make it so hard because they have veterans that are quote unquote lying about conditions or stuff. And I kind of told that worker, I was like, it doesn't matter whether you guys think they're lying or even if they are lying, they serve this country, so it shouldn't matter at the end of the day. So that's kind of why we're here. That's kind of why we are also having these conversations to make it easier for you guys to navigate and to figure out how to make it easier for you to get benefits that you deserve from serving, and how to make it to where you can actually have an easier life when you get out of the service than when you were in the service.
Yes, 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 yes.
So I really appreciate that question and that topic, Herman. Uh, is there anybody else that wants to speak on some pain points they may be having, or something that they're confused about or maybe missing? Um, Herman had some really good points there that are, I think, are very important to talk about, and that's something that here at Veterans Alliance that we are very, very focused and passionate on alleviating. Okay, well, if we don't have any more speakers on the pain points, we'll go to the next part of it. If you could add or fix one thing at VA.org, what would have the greatest impact on veterans that you know? Um, some of the ideas are faster disability claim status updates for real-time tracking, simpler benefit eligibility tools, one-page summary of all benefits that you may qualify for, and better mobile experience for veterans in rural areas. And what's actually very exciting about these is that the things that we have in development and the things that are really building that we're building right now are going to alleviate all of these ideas that we've heard over the short time that we've been building this. Um, so you guys like stay tuned for, especially for next week when we're really going to dive in depth. And you'll meet the CEO of Veterans Alliance, and he'll really speak on what we're developing technology wise and what we're developing right now to help alleviate things even more. I see Cheryl, you have your hand raised. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Sorry about that. I was still muted. So I'm not a veteran, but I work a lot with veterans. And one of the things I'd like to bring up is, and I don't know how much, um, authority you guys would have in this, but when it comes to the VA exemption for property taxes, is that something that I can bring up or is it something that's not really relevant for what you guys do?
So for the you're saying exemption for property tax, correct?
Correct.
So no, we could definitely talk about it. We don't we help with that because it on that it's based strictly on your disability rating for veterans. So for instance, to qualify for exemption on property tax, and it's also dependent on state to state as well because not all states offer it, and then some states make it harder than others to qualify for it. But to initially qualify for that, you have to be 100% permanent total disabled vet to qualify for that property exemption. I know here in Oklahoma is where I live. They offer that. Texas, I think there's five other states right now that are doing it, and that's something that we want to try to fight for as well. With the nonprofit that we're going to be starting for lobbying with the government on
Hmm.
making it to where from state to state that if you're 100%, you should not have to pay property taxes no matter what state you're in. So these
Right.
are kind of the things that we're really trying to build and grow. So that is something we help with, but it'd be kind of on the referring to
Legislature side.
yeah, legislature side and also like attorney side. So like say you have veterans that are at 80%, 70%, and they just can't get past that rating or they've been fighting for maybe a year or two or even longer to get even higher rating to get to that 100%. We help connect with attorneys that are very qualified and very helpful with getting those veterans to the disability percentage that they deserve and the disability percentage that they should get in the first place. Um, so we do kind of help, but it's more of like
Do kind of help.
So,
referral to
mm,
um, referral to people that can bring up your disability percentage. Then I'm always a resource to reach out to as a veteran that went through the process. So I can give tips and advice on how to speak in CMP exams, how to prepare your documentation, and how to really approach the VA when it comes to disability rating.
So what I'd like to bring up is because I'm a mortgage lender, so I help a lot of veterans in this space, especially with the Army National Guard. So and I'm based out of Florida. So what
Mhm.
I'm seeing here is we have multiple VA exemptions. Yes, you have your 100%, that you would not pay anything. However, you can
Mhm.
also do your percentage. So if you're not 100%, but maybe you're 50 or you're 60, you'll get that percentage off of your property taxes. But the gap that I'm seeing, and this is something to keep in mind for other states as you speak with those higher ups and attorneys, is there's a gap between the property appraiser, the tax collector, and mortgage servicers. So what is happening is when you have someone who's 100% service connected and they are filing, so like in Florida, my property appraisers will give us a letter saying yes, they would qualify for the 100%, to not pay anything other than the ad valorem, the non-ad valorem portion, excuse me. So they give us that letter. We as a lender can qualify them off of the lower portion, helping them qualify for the house and stay within their payment budget, especially for those on a fixed income. The
Mhm.
gap is every November the property gets reassessed. What mortgage servicers are doing is they are reassessing their their monthly payment based on that November amount. So for if this year, if a veteran purchases a home and they're paying the non-ad valorem portion of taxes only, which is what they're entitled to, November, their mortgage servicer is going to do an escrow analysis, which increases their mortgage almost anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month because they have to pay the taxes in full and then they update the payment to get reimbursed. So what's happening is the mortgage servicer is sending the payment to the tax collector. The tax collector has to wait to receive it. Once they receive it, they issue a refund back to the mortgage servicer. But within that time frame, the veteran is put in a financial position that they cannot afford.
Yeah.
Right.
So they can't claim um, the VA exemption because that doesn't go in effect until January. So we have our property taxes due in November, but the VA exemption doesn't go into effect until January. That's a huge gap because we've had people, especially around the holidays, that can't afford it, and now they can't afford the holidays. That's putting them into quite a big of a very bad position,
Mhm.
financially, and financial health is a part of mental health. So
Yep.
I think that's something that definitely needs to be discussed within the attorneys and the legislature that there's a statute that needs to be addressed fast. I know
Okay.
I'm speaking with certain commanders at the, American Legion and the VFW, and then we've got the Fraternal Order of Police. A lot of people backing us on this, where we're trying to get that handled in Florida. But for those that are not in Florida that may have noticed that happen, that's one of the big issues. One thing I will say that I do like is that for those going for 100% of service connected disability, they have to notify their property appraiser that they're doing so because some states and some counties will reimburse the veteran up to 3 years of property taxes. But you got to
Mm.
notify them that you're going for 100%. So
Yeah.
if they bought their house and they weren't 100%, and they paid taxes, they could potentially be reimbursed. So I just wanted to bring
Okay.
that up, that that's a huge disconnect that I'm seeing with veterans, and I just want to take care of those clients that I do have, and if hopefully nobody else is going through that.
I really appreciate you speaking on that. That is definitely something I'm glad you brought to light because um, I don't know all the different state laws when it comes to the property taxes and stuff, but I'm glad that you brought that up because that is something that we want to try to fight when we start our nonprofit and
Yes.
lobby against so that we can really bring change and alleviate uh, the struggle on veterans that have served this country. Because a lot of us veterans, we get out and we don't really, you know, need that extra stress. We already had enough. I see that Anne has her hand raised again, Cheryl. I really appreciate you bringing that to light, and bringing that up during this.
My pleasure.
Um,
Thank you.
and I see your hands raised.
I have a question pertaining to this conversation. As of yesterday, I did receive notification that I am receiving my 100%. So shortly here, I'll be going to the um, tax people to proceed with this. Um,
Yeah.
what my question is if say I pass away before my husband does, do we need to be prepared for him to have those taxes reapplied?
So that's a very good question. For that, if you were to pass away before your husband, I believe he would still be covered as a surviving spouse under your benefit at 100%. Because I know that's how I have it set up, but this is in Oklahoma. I don't know what state you're in. I have it set up so if I were to unfortunately pass away before my wife or something unfortunate happens, that she wouldn't have to worry about that because she'll be covered under my benefits as a surviving spouse. So, and I would just ask that you email me and I can get what state you're in and I can kind of see what state laws they may have in place on that 100% because every state for some reason has to be different when it comes to 100%, from California to Florida to Texas to New York. It's all different. So I would ask that you please email me and I can really dig in depth on this and be able to give you a better answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have anybody else? Those were some very good
Yes,
questions and good
yes,
insight.
yes.
You got anything you want to say, Herman, on this?
Um, I just agree with everything that was presented to you. You know, it's I'm going back to saying that it should be automatic, even if you don't have 100%. Right? You serve this country.
Yep.
You know, even if you don't have 100%, even though if you have 50 or 70 or 80, you know, they can still have the benefits.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. You know,
I agree, and that's and these are like good that we're having these kind of conversations because this is stuff that we can kind of project into the future, for when we are doing our nonprofit and kind of put together some lobbying to talk to, the government, the legislature, the people that are making the laws for the veterans affairs and benefits that we get when we get out, um, to really lobby and kind of help alleviate people that or veterans that don't exactly qualify for 100%, but like you said, they still serve this country. I've known a few guys that serve 15, 20 years and they don't get 100% just because they didn't get hurt as much during their service, but that doesn't take away from the time and effort and everything
that's
else
it.
they put into
Right.
the service.
Yes,
Um, so that is definitely something we're going to try to lobby on and try to really help because what we want to do is to make things easier for veterans and to increase benefits that veterans have. Just in the fact of I don't think the government gives us enough benefits for serving our country. Um, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but if you look at other countries' militaries and their government, it doesn't matter if their soldiers served a year, 2 years, 6 months. They get a uh, the same amount of paycheck and everything when they exit the service, and they get covered in healthcare and all these benefits, no matter how long they served, whether they got really hurt or messed up, or they only got a paper cut. It didn't matter that their government takes care of them, and that's
Yes,
something I really
yes,
want to fight for veterans here in the U.S. is the government should be taking care of veterans no matter if they just got a paper cut or they got their
yes,
leg blown
yes,
off or something.
yes.
Um, so that's definitely something we're really working on and trying to build here. So I really appreciate these conversations because it really gives us insight on a lot of us veterans say the same things, and it's nice to hear from people like Cheryl that isn't a veteran, but they talk to the veteran community and they see the issues as well, and they want to advocate and try to help as well. So this is why we have these community halls and these community forums. So I really appreciate these conversations. Um, the next thing I think is oh, well, we don't have anything else unless there there's other questions or anything that people want to say closing out. I just want to say, as a veteran and as the operations manager here at Veterans Alliance, that I'm very passionate and driven in our mission and our vision in the direction that we're heading for helping veterans. At me going through the process myself and serving over 10 years, you can really see where a lot of issues are raised and that a lot of veterans are saying the same thing. Like it's like if there's 100 people never met each other a day in their life, but they're all saying the same thing, there has to be a correlating issue. And that's something that here at Veterans Alliance that we're very passionate about fixing and alleviating for veterans. So before I close it out, are there any closing remarks from uh, you, Paul, or any of the attendees that are here today?
I just want to thank everybody for their service and for showing up to this meeting. And please keep coming back because we really want your feedback in terms of what to build for you guys.
Okay. Thank
Hey,
you, Paul, for that. So stay. Oh, Herman, you got your hand raised.
yeah, the only thing I want to talk about is when is the next meeting or Zoom meeting
You
for
uh
this?
You beat me to it. Is That's what I was just going to touch on before we closed out. So, stay tuned, but more than likely it will be same time next week, but it may be subject to change depending on things. So we push it out in email, and then if you shoot me an email, I'll keep you informed, Herman. But we'll post on our social medias as well on date and time, but it will be next week. So please plan for that. And this is where you're going to be able to meet our CEO of Veterans Alliance, and he's really going to be able to do a really in-depth explanation of what is coming with Veterans Alliance and what is for the future for us. Um, so that information will be put out probably tomorrow.
Oh,
To tomorrow or this weekend, we'll put out like an exact day and time.
okay, okay. Same time, same bat station.
Pretty much. Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody for showing up and getting involved in this and really speaking your mind. This is what makes us better and what really helps other veterans. And I just want to remind everybody that your service didn't end when you came home, and neither does ours. So we're going to stay dedicated to helping veterans and making things easier for veterans. So I really appreciate you guys for your time. If you guys have nothing else, we're going to end it here and we'll see you again next week.